Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The act of furnishing an equivalent person or thing in the place of another. Replacing the star will not be easy. A person who follows next in order. An event in which one thing is substituted for another. The replacement of lost blood by a transfusion of donor blood. Filling again by supplying what has been used up. The act of furnishing an equivalent person or thing in the place of another. Someone who takes the place of another person. A person or thing that takes or can take the place of another. Exchange or replace with another, usually of the same kind or category. The act of changing one thing for another thing. Adam was promised immortality in exchange for his disobedience. Give to, and receive from, one another. Put in the place of another, switch seemingly equivalent items. Reciprocal transfer of equivalent sums of money, especially the currencies of different countries. Exchange a penalty for a less severe one. A workplace that serves as a telecommunications facility where lines from telephones can be connected together to permit communication. The act of putting one thing or person in the place of another. Sports. An unbroken sequence of several successive strokes. Change over, change around, as to a new order or sequence. A mutual expression of views, especially an unpleasant one. They had a bitter exchange. A workplace for buying and selling, open only to members. Chemical process in which one atom or ion or group changes places with another. Chess, gaining, or losing, a rook in return for a knight or bishop. Black lost the exchange. Chess, the capture by both players, usually on consecutive moves, of pieces of equal value. The endgame began after the exchange of queens. Hand over one and receive another, approximately equivalent. Exchange prisoners. The act of giving something in return for something received. Deductible losses on sales or exchanges of property are allowable. An event in which one thing is substituted for another. The act of putting one thing or person in the place of another. He sent Smith in for Jones, but the substitution came too late to help. The travel of a commuter. The act of putting one thing or person in the place of another. Law. The reduction in severity of a punishment imposed by law. A warrant substituting a lesser punishment for a greater one. Replacing a pitcher in baseball. Act of replacing one person or thing by another, especially one held to be superior. Act of replacing one person or thing by another, especially one held to be superior. Act of taking the place of another, especially using underhanded tactics. Act of taking the place of another, especially using underhanded tactics. The act of uniform movement. To move something from its natural environment. An event in which something is displaced without rotation. Chemistry. A reaction in which an elementary substance displaces and sets free a constituent element from a compound. Act of removing from office or employment. Psychiatry. A defense mechanism that transfers effect or reaction from the original object to some more acceptable one. Law. The replacement of one obligation by another by mutual agreement of both parties, usually the replacement of one of the original parties to a contract with the consent of the remaining party.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.